Hey guys, just wanted to do a follow-up on my little suction dredgy thing. I want to modify it so that I can do a continuous pulling of material and have it go into a bucket. So to do this, material will get pulled up through and it'll go through a one-way check valve. That's the big one right there, 2-inch. And then it's going to go up into a Y as material gets sucked up into the tube up there, and then you push it out. The check valve will hold it back and the material will get pushed out down the Y into another check valve. And this check valve goes in the direction of the bucket. So when you're pulling material up, this forms a vacuum so that it won't pull air in, and you'll be able to pull material up through the nozzle. And then when you're blowing it out, this check valve will close, so the only place that the material can go is out. And then I have a kind of a I don't know what you call it, a sump pump flexible hose that'll go right into the top of that bucket there. So you should be able to continuously use the thing and it'll just fill up the bucket. So that's the goal. Let's see if we can build it here and test it out. Okay, so I just finished putting this all together. So you can see here on the end, what I've done here is I put a little screw on the end to limit big rocks from getting in there. And then here's my check valve, 2-inch. It's got a little clean out thing in case stuff gets stuck in there. So stuff goes up in here. And then when you get material in here, you push it this way and it's going to go out this tube into the flexi hose. That's a bit too long right now, and then it should dump into the bucket. And one thing I also did, if you looked at the other buddy's video there, and I'll put a link to him because it inspired me, his upgrades. I got a little rubber cap that's used for suction, and it fits right on there. I took this compressing thing off. If you see my previous video right here, you'll be able to see it. Anyways, I took this off and replaced it with this. This is made of leather, and when it gets wet it expands a little bit and makes a much more better seal, I guess, but we will see. So let's test it out and see what happens. Okay, so I ended up making a change here. I went to the wholesale club and I got another one of these, I guess they're a check valve or a kind of a backwater valve. And I wanted this because it's simple in design. It's just got a a flapper with a rubber gasket, and it makes a seal, and it works nice and simple. So I took out this one. This is a check valve that has a spring-loaded valve on it. So I didn't want anything that would be pressure related. I just wanted water in, water out. So this is the working mechanism here. Well, actually I'll show you that it works. Yeah, so overall I'm actually pretty happy with how it first works here. Of course we'll have to test it out with when you're sucking up material, rocks and slurry, and see how it spits out and see if it jams up at all. So I'll try it out, and if I can't make it out into the field there's some places out there you can't even use these things, so be mindful of the laws and regulations in your area. So, but if I'm in a place I can't do it, I'll just do it out of a bucket or something and test it out. Okay, so I'm back with another update to the snipe here. I did a field test with it and it just did not work very well. What had happened is the flapper valve in here would get stuck open when you get grit from the slurry, in there so I wouldn't get a vacuum. So every time I would pull back on the nozzle there, or on the handle, it would just be pulling empty air out, in and out all the time. So I decided to go to more of a check valve, and I've already put a 2-inch one in here, and here's a 1.5-inch one here to replace this one. And these things have a little, there's no flapper valve in them, it's an actual seal with a spring, and it'll pull forward when pressure hits it in a certain direction. There's an arrow here, so when there's no pressure, the spring will push the gasket back and make a seal, and then I'll be able to bring material up through there and then out through there, and it should be more of a closed system. So let's try it and see if that works. And because I glued the whole thing together, we got to use something a little more delicate to get it apart. So I'll just show you the inside of this thing. I've already removed this. This is the 2-inch one. I wasn't a big fan of how bulky this was anyways, but as you can see in here, there's your flapper, and you can see it just wants to stay. It doesn't naturally go into the down position like that. And that's because this hinge here has grit in it, and grit from the slurry. So you know, these might work in nice clean water situations, but it doesn't really work for the application that I'm working with. And this thing actually just comes right out if you can just pull it right out like so. And you can see there's a rubber gasket on there. Works similar, but there's nothing forcing it down or up. You know, the vacuum will pull it up, but once it stays up and it gets stuck, then it kind of defeats the whole purpose of it. So yeah, I thought it would work, but hey, nothing works the first time anyway, so we'll go to plan B. Put the adapter on now, the check valve. What I like about these is they're threaded, so if a part fails, you can just go ahead and buy a new one and unscrew it on, unscrew it off and put it back on again. And if I got a little bit of air leak, I can just put a little Teflon on the threads and it should be good. So now we just need to find a hose. I'm going to go ahead and test this. So that's working. So we are basically right where we were at the end of last video. So now I'm going to actually do a test with the slurry to make sure it works. Okay, so what I've done is I've grabbed some pay dirt that I grabbed from, I think that's from the Nip and Tuck mine. So I'll show you that video in the links there. And I put it into the pan and mix it up. This is unclassified material. And we're going to use the snipe here to suck it up through the hose and right into the collecting bucket there. So maybe about 5 feet of hose. So let's see how it does. Okay, let's take the lid off and see what kind of material we're sucking up with it. nice gravels. So yeah, this is the stuff we're bringing up here. So it is classified. And, the reason for that is because there is, I put a screw through the end here so you can then the big rocks will go through and get caught up. So, and if you do have a catch in one of these check valves, you can you can go ahead and unscrew it here and clean it out on both of them. So I think we're ready for another field test. So let's get her packed up and ready to go for the next trip. So yeah, I think I'm done with this prototyping and can kind of make a 2 or 3 of these things now. In total, this project came in at under $100. So if you like, I can send you just the basic material list. Just check out my website at goprospecting.ca, and to get more information you can certainly email me and ask lots of questions. Anyways, thanks guys, we'll see you in the next video.